person. I was asleep last night, and it was a vision that I saw as I was looking up. I saw it unfold. I was standing under it, and I was looking up, and I seen it. And it looked like I was looking at a dungeon. It was maybe an 8 foot by 8 foot, 10 foot tall. And they had a lid that fit on it, same dimensions, 8 by 8 foot. And people, evil people, would open the lid and throw people inside and pull people out. And they would pull one person out and throw 4 people in. They would throw them in like logs of wood.
Hi guys, I wanted you to listen to a little snip of an experience I had from the Lord. It was the 14th of March between say 10 o'clock and that morning on the 15th. The Lord took me in a trance. It was that lasted only a few minutes, but I felt like I was there a long time. I went to sleep that night on that Saturday night, and I was not asleep maybe probably five minutes, no more than that, and I fell into a trance. I've had a trance before. And I did relay this to a couple of people that are very, very familiar with this type of thing, and they both concurred that it was the Lord showing me something. So, as it were, the Lord began to elongate it out to me, but it took 2 or 3 days for me to be able to understand the whole body of what I saw. And I saw a facility, and it was like an underground facility. It was hidden. Nobody knew that it was there other than the evil people that operate it. And what they do is they take people, they take humans, and they do testing on them. And it's an underground facility, but they also have like another portion to the facility that they make, and I'm sure there are more than the one that I saw, but it was like anywhere from, say, for instance, a 6 foot by 8 foot square, and it was too high for them to jump out. So it was almost like they were holding them like they hold those animals in Wuhan, China, before they take them and kill them. They just hold them in like a little cell. And so these people were, they just really don't stay there very long. They don't stay there very long because they're processed rapidly. And when they would take one out, like I said before, they would throw others in. They throwed people down in there, but then they had others in there that they wrapped up like in this mummy kind of wrapping. And I felt like they did testing on them, and they would throw them back in. And I think they didn't survive, and then they would, they had others that they would put in there also because they had to add people because they were taking people out. So they would take one person out at a time only, test them, and then they would wrap them in this mummy type stuff, and they would throw them back in like a dead dog, and then they would find more people, and they would throw those people in there, but they were going to come back out because they were going to test their body for either chemical or biological warfare. So the Lord gave this to me for intercession because I've been given a mandate to pray for Hollywood. And the Lord gave me that mandate many, many, many years ago, showed me that one of the people that he showed me was Jim Carrey. It was a vision. I think it was a vision. I was standing in a hospital, and he was on a gurney laying on his stomach, and there was a white sheet over him as though he was dead. And he raised up out of this, it looked like he was dead, but then all of a sudden he raised up and he looked straight at me. He looked straight at me, Jim Carrey, the actor, Jim Carrey. He looked straight at me and he said, "My blood is boiling." And so I didn't know what to do with that. I was like, wow, that. I woke up that morning and I said, what in the heck am I supposed to do with that? I just went into intercession for him, and through the years I've thought about him and didn't really know, much about it. It was around 2013 that the Lord began to take me into trances and visions and dreams and give me experiences to prepare me to get ready so that I could be an intercessor. And the Lord confirmed that I had been given a mandate to pray for Hollywood. It was 2019 that the Lord showed me that He wanted me to pray for Hollywood. I woke up in a waking vision, and the word Happy Hollywood Jesus, that phrase, those words came to my spirit, and I didn't understand what that was, but now I do. So the Lord had me to begin to pray for people like Jim Carrey, and others would come into my spirit, and I didn't know really what to do with it or what to make of it, but it was all about praying for Hollywood and praying for the Lord to go and cleanse Hollywood and do mighty work in Hollywood, but the mandate was going to have to come from heaven because of the great oppression of Hollywood and the Illuminati and the deep state and all that's happening there in Hollywood, that most just people walking down the street, they have no idea what's going on. I had no idea what was going on, but I was a part of those that had been afflicted by Hollywood as a child because I had been traumatized as a young child, 4 and 5 years old. Okay, so one of the reasons why the Lord gave me this mandate, it was because I had been traumatized as a young child by these demon spirits that entered me through the movie industry. And so He's asking me to go back into the movie industry, but it is with intercession and prayer. So where the enemy has robbed from me, I'm going to go and steal back from him. One of the experiences that I have had and that confirmed to me, I think probably more than anything else, has that the demonic was had afflicted me beyond my realization. Was one night during the night, and I don't know what year this happened. I think it was around 2014 or 15. I woke up from this very dark dream, and I heard in my ear, it was like a entity whispered it to me, "We know where you are and we know how to find you. We know where you are and we know how to find you." And when I heard that, I was like, what? I know that's not God. And so I had to go through a few years, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, through a lot of deliverance. And the Lord began to do that, especially at night while I slept, because it was during the night that a lot of this oppression would come upon me after I would watch these scary movies as a child. I would be, traumatized at night by these demons, and they found a place in me, and they would just terrorize me and torment me during the night. And lots of things would happen, and I can't explain that to anyone unless they've already kind of know about that kind of stuff, because it's too deep, and unless you've experienced some of that, you couldn't relate. So that is the short of the story, and I just wanted to relay that to everybody that's listening, that the stuff that's going on right now with the coronavirus has all of it is tangled up together, and it has to do with Hollywood, and it has to do with sex trafficking. It has to do with the consumption of small children, drinking their blood, eating their bodies, their little organs and their parts, and then taking them and sacrificing them, forcing little girls to get pregnant and taking their babies, and they become cannibals and they begin to eat them. And this is all real. This has been happening a long, 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 long time. And it would even go into, lots of people have encountered things during the night that they can't explain, and then a lot of a lot of people have mental blocks. They have blocks where they don't remember these things happening, but all of it's coming through the portal of Hollywood. And so I am going into Hollywood in the spirit, and systematically taking down those strongholds through prayer.